In my previous life, I had an overexpanded bladder, which led to a mismatch in the regulation of my body's functions, and my soul traveled to the world of immortality. Without the slightest surprise, I also have the golden finger of traveling over, and mine is the highest 10,000 times feedback system of accepting disciples. And my disciples not only have a devilish body and charming beauty, but also all red luck. However, I don't know why, but my disciples actually hate me. What kind of sins did I do in my last life? At this moment, I am flying in the sword, experiencing the experience that I never had in my last life. It's simply too good to be true. I attracted a group of beautiful disciples below me screaming, "What are you going to do, Fifth Elder?" I am a little helpless. These shallow women can only see my handsome. Obviously my strength is also super powerful. Okay. At this time, the system prompt is actually the red son of luck. The system is still the first time to recommend me such a powerful person. Think about my crossover to now. Every day you're scared to live. Really give me a big surprise. Then I open the system. The character introduction is actually SSR. The most important thing is still the best stove tripod. Double cultivation of the best. Thinking of this, I myself feel shameless. I am pursuing a pure and flawless love of men and women. The system ruins me. Looking at the woman's information in front of me, this is simply a proper heaven's pride. As if she is the crossover. Waiting for this long, finally came a red luck disciple. I am simply excited. The disciple for the teacher I came. At this time, a woman is lying on the ground in despair, did not care about the sight of the blazing fire, only to see a bald man pressed on her body, obscenely licking the corner of his mouth, looking at her with desire, only to hear the bald man said, "The little lady, today we will be the wedding." You see how, not waiting for the woman to respond, the bald man has begun to wait. A hand will tear the girl's clothes. Looking at the woman's fair skin, attractive body, the bald man unconsciously began to flow out of saliva. Just when the bald man wanted to do something wrong, suddenly his eyes protruded and he spat out a mouthful of blood. He looked back in disbelief, only to see that I, the old six who does not talk about martial arts and virtue, was stabbing into his body with a sharp sword in my hand. I smiled slightly. How can a hero save a beauty be missing? I'm the cultivation world's face value sealing it. Looking at the girl, I slightly reluctant to give up. Really poor. Sister, I see your parents have died. The family home is destroyed. I'm Subei, the fifth elder of the sword sect. I wonder if you'd like to return to the immortal sect and worship me. Subei, as your teacher? I don't know if it's because my name is too loud, or the girl is overly sad, but she actually frownsy in her place. The girl's heart was in a state of shock. She didn't realize that he was actually Subei of the sword sect. See the girl's appearance. I said faintly, "How to think so long? If you do not want, you and I will be the end of the fate of this." I have no choice but to pretend to be an outsider and try to provoke her. But I can't really let her go. After all, such a top talent disciple appeared. I'm still afraid that the system does not give me a good reward. Then the girl revealed a sinister expression. But I always feel that this expression, and I think it seems not the same. Only heard the woman say, "I am willing to join the sword sect to worship you as a master." Master on the disciple Shao Ruashi worship master. Look at Shao Ruashi, I slightly stunned, although the feeling of high cold point, but also quite respect the teacher. Then the system rewarded me an all-powerful 10 consecutive draws, which is the configuration of the protagonist should have. But the next second I will be a black line stay in place. The son of luck to give me these rubbish. Could it be that I draw cards in the wrong way? Suddenly the system prompted, "Congratulations to the host for obtaining the legendary reward title. Son of Fate, congratulations to the host, lucky value has reached the upper limit." I'm a little excited. This is the right thing to do. This is what the protagonist should look like. The love child first and the teacher back to the planet. In the future to learn, the teacher personally accompany you to report today's revenge. At this time I said seriously, "Disciple, you sense into the immortal door. Then the teacher will have some things needs you to remember." Shao Ruoshong at this time do not know whether it is excitement or excitement. The whole person is still dumb. For my words is also faintly agreed. I can't help it. I have to tell my disciple, the path of immortality is vast. You need to be down to earth. Don't think that pie will fall from the sky. And you have to remember, love child, there are not so many opportunities for heroes to come out of the woodwork. However, in the next second, I was hit by the speed of light, only to see that there is a strong man below, who is saving the beauty heroically. At this moment I was embarrassed. What my master means is that even if you are gifted, there aren't that many great feats that you can run into. Suddenly there was a man below who laughed loudly. Ha ha ha. Huan-san actually got the Dragonfall 180,000 chapters. I'm so angry that I'm actually being punched in the face again. Anyway, cultivating immortality is a very boring thing, no matter how high your strength and how lucky you are. But the most important thing must be to live for the master. You remember the disciple, Xiao Ruoxiong said with a happy face. Disciple understands. Thank you, master, for saving my life today. In the future I will definitely cultivate diligently. Not bad, not bad. Children can be taught. In the future, you will be the personal disciple of my sword sect's Unswer Peak. At this time Xiao Ruoxiong faced gloomy. The sword clan, I finally came back. This life I must end. Yusubei returned to the west. At this moment, I have taken my disciple back to the sword clan. The fifth elder, Big Elder, called you to go to the meeting. When I heard the notification from below, I stopped in a hurry and told the Grand Elder that I would be right over. Then I said to Xiao Ruoxi, you first follow my sword back to the sword peak. My master will come back after the meeting. At this time, Xiao Ruoxi looked extremely good. Sweetly said, master, early back. I will wait for you. Xiao Ruoxiong at this time something strange. This Subei, how in the previous life of the black face of the Devil King, is not the same. Suddenly I said in a hurry, the corner of the table seems to be padded. With a cheap practice method, you first look. Remember not to touch the ball on the table. And I went back to the sword clan, was surrounded by a crowd of female disciples. No way who led brother to handsome it. I then opened the system to see if my attributes had changed. The promised apprentice one was given feedback, and there was no change in the hairline. At first I thought it was a role-playing system, but I didn't realize it was actually a nurturing system. A month ago, as a good young man in the 20th century, I suddenly traveled across and obtained the apprentice 10,000 feedback system. I clearly remember that day I have been cat in the quilt to read the novel, although a little anxious to urinate, but still decided to finish reading and then go to the. However, the system actually told me that my bladder had overexpanded, causing a malfunction in its functioning, thus causing me to cross over. At this time, I was simply furious. This is a human language. Simply put, I actually let the urine to suffocate to death. Crossing over to the immoral world, I became the fifth elder of the sword sect. Not only the strength of the heavenly but also handsome and unparalleled. Compared to other traveling novels, I'm obviously invincible at the beginning. It's just too good to be true. And I also awakened the apprentice 10,000 times feedback system. I thought I was going to walk on the peak of life, but now I realize that this system is really a big liar. And just at this moment, someone behind me suddenly called me, Little Bebe, you're finally back. It turned out to be the eldest elder Pinching, only to see her at this time a hand embrace me. Eldest elder sister, I want to suffocate. Second elder Sai Lai clothes at this time face unhappy, constantly coughing to imply the two of us. Seeing that the two of us did not react, the second elder said, please also pay attention to the influence of the great elder. The eldest elder slightly stunned. The old feudal, small north as a child to change nappies or I change. He body parts I that have not seen. The second elder was simply speechless. Look at what you guys look like. The hall of the fifth elder, actually all day long fascinated in the disciple. And the eldest elder of the sword sect actually rubbed his chest against the fifth elder's face. Not the slightest bit shy, simply unlike the appearance. And old six, as the sixth elder of the sword sect, is actually a drunken mongrel. Are you guys good at this? Sixth elder Jun Wuzi slowly opened his eyes. The fifth elder, brother, you try harder. Look at me, have returned to the early stage of the virtual. The words just fell bang was the second elder stepped on the foot. Back to the virtual early stage, you are very proud of it. We are a first-class clan, where there is a first-class clan elder cultivation. In the return to the middle of the virtual below, Jun Wuzi, who was stepped on by the second elder, didn't dare to resist at all and could only draw circles on the ground. This is not important. The important thing is that our sword sect elders are all very harmonious, unlike other sects that fight with each other. The Grand Elder said seriously at this time. Well, back to the topic. Let's talk about the matter of the current recruiting conference. Every 50 years, a newborn recruiting conference. Really want what to what? This disciple is not a lot of it. I am a little curious. Is the system also have the ability to foretell? That is also too amazing. The Grand Elder said, the person in charge of this conference must be strong and have a lot of time. to organize the recruitment of new students. And most importantly, the eloquence must be good, or else all the good seedlings will be snatched up by people from other clans. As the entire clan elder's strength, bottom of the I have not even considered. After all, it is really too much difference. Then I won't put it off. Senior sister, the only person here who might have the strength to be in charge of our sword sex recruitment conference is this honorable father. The second elder is still calculating in his mind that it is just the right time to expand the strength of her most sword peak, and I'm afraid that the next patriarch will be here when the time comes. But at this very moment, the first elder actually recommended me to be in charge of this recruitment conference. Simply unbelievable. At this time, Xiao Ruosheng did not listen to my words, or secretly will be on the table of the bottle, pick up and drink secretly. Not a moment later saw Xiao Ruosheng flushed, eyes confused, looking at their own opposite. The black shadow hastily asked what you want to do. Xiao Ruosheng could not believe. She first thought that the shadow is a person, but did not think it was a standing rooster. The rooster became a spirit, actually can stand and walk. Immediately will not have seen the world of Xiao Ruosheng, screaming in fear. At this moment, Brother Chicken was about to communicate with my female disciple when I walked in. You guys are getting along well. Wait, what do you want to do to my disciple? Only to hear that Chicken Brother said, I just want to help you take care of her only. At this time, I saw that the water of life that I brewed for the sixth disciple actually let this little girl drink it. What a loser. And the chicken also took the opportunity to escape. If not, I see it will do some housework. Long ago, this chicken stood tonic body. I looked at the drunken Xiao Ruosheng. Really a poor child. The family broke up, and she was also almost by the bald and the chicken brother exchange. But fortunately, my own luck deepened, and there is a handsome master who is so jade-like and cultivated like me. This may be the will of heaven in the underworld. Just when I was putting white silk on my disciple, she actually said in her mouth, Master, why aren't you dead yet? When I was puzzled, the sixth senior brother suddenly pushed the door to enter. Senior brother, why does your room smell so much of alcohol? Is it secretly drinking? At this moment, the sixth senior brother stood still as if he were a wooden chicken. What is this situation? The senior brother actually likes this. The sixth senior brother then immediately turned around and left, since senior brother is on a big errand. Junior brother, I will come back in a minute. Junior brother, don't go. You've misunderstood me. Senior brother, I'm not that kind of person. Come back to me quickly. No, you wait. What did you just say? You only have 1 minute. I am a fierce man. Okay. At this time, I Saturday in the courtyard with the old six. The old six looked at the wine that was finished to cry out, this wine is not the point. Okay, the focus is my energy. At this time, Xiao Ruosheng slowly opened his eyes. This is exactly how it is. How to feel where seems to be wrong. This thing that looks like trousers and socks. Could it be that the devil put it on me? But this thing is both snug and cool. It is indeed more convenient. Could it be the latest disciple attire of the sword sect? This devil must have found out that I stole and drank his good wine. Have to think of a way. Otherwise, in the future there will be me suffer. Soon Xiao Ruosheng also came to the courtyard, simply ignoring Chung Wuzi's expression. Master, you are back. Xiao Ruosheng's hands are holding a big bowl. Master, quickly taste the 10-hole tonic soup I stewed for you. I'm so shy. This female disciple really didn't accept me for nothing. She's quite respectful of her master. Xiao Ruosheng thought to herself, blinded by my sugar coating, there are still good ingredients waiting for you in the soup. I looked at Xiao Ruosheng after the latest change of clothes. My face actually could not help but blush. Looking at my blushing face, Xiao Ruosheng thought that I was touched. Master, quickly come and enjoy the soup that I stewed for you. And when I saw the bowl of soup, I always felt that there was something wrong with the taste and color. I suddenly realized that the soup in the bowl actually put the laxative used to treat pig constipation. Could it be that this niece put the wrong seasoning? But at this moment, the old sixth this guy actually said, why let brother taste first? I want to taste first. I want to taste it first. Besides, my water of life has been drunk by you, master and disciple. This chicken soup is a compensation. After saying that, he actually picked up the soup and dried it. We didn't even have time to stop it. This is the phoenix feather chicken that has been cultivated into a spirit. You can do it. You can actually make soup with this kind of divine creature. No wonder you look so refreshed every day. I can't believe it. This is actually my chicken brother. You old boy, shut up. But the next second, Lao Yu's stomach grumbled. Senior brother, this soup is really strong. Looking at the expression on Lao Yu's face, I knew that my disciple really hadn't let go. It looked like things were about to get out of hand. At this moment, Xiao Ruosheng was wearing a maid's outfit and using the air freshener in her hand to purify the sixth elder's poisonous gas bomb. At this moment, Xiao Ruoxiang suddenly found a book at the foot of the bed. This is actually the Sword Sect's secret sword codex. That devil must have hidden it here for fear that I would find it. Now, as long as I practice day and night, I can surpass the devil in no time. At this moment, I suddenly appeared behind him. How to take out this book used to cushion the foot of the bed of grass paper. It's good to want to take revenge, but how can such an ordinary gonfu work? Xiao Ruoxiang is puzzled. Master, this is the secret method of the Sword Sect. How can it be ordinary? Then help me to go to the Sword Pavilion to see if there's a suitable technique for my disciple. Okay. I can't stand it. It's a small thing. I'm going to pass on your technique. Naturally, I want the best one. Xiao Ruoxiang, heart secretly happy, mouth quickly prays. Master is really the best master under the sky. Watching me walk towards the Hidden Sword Pavilion, the crowd had a lot of discussion. Why would the fifth elder come to the Hidden Sword Pavilion? At this moment, I came to the Hidden Sword Pavilion. My heart was a bit apprehensive, because there are two senior sisters stationed here. Suddenly, someone asked, "What do you want to do this time?" 2 years ago, you said that the grass in your hand can cut thousands of stars, but I have not been able to realize it yet. Now that I've met you, I'd like to ask you to show me the way. At this moment, the fifth sister has already drawn her sword and aimed it at me. It looks like we are in trouble again today. The onlookers said in disbelief, with the grass in her hand to cut down the stars. This is too crazy. Right. I can't help it. I was too annoyed with her. I just made up a story and now I'm getting my revenge. At this moment, I still do not change color and pretend to say, "Senior sister, you really do not understand. You are too disappointing from my brother." Xiao Ruoxiang hurriedly said, "Senior brother, forgive junior sister. Stupid indeed, do not understand. Please, senior brother, point out." Since I asked indifferently, "So senior sister, as a sword cultivator, can you know what is the way of the sword?" Listening to Xiao Ruoxiang's explanation, the disciples could not help but sigh, worthy of being a star sword immortal. And at this moment it seems to randomly recite a poem cannot. This forced to pretend out, really not round back. At this time I am full of black lines. It seems that I can only continue to make up. Hope to fool her. Just listen to my softly said. In that case, you listen carefully. Life is a life. Grass and trees in the autumn. Everything in the world is a matter of the sword. In order to see the sword in hand to smooth out the world's injustices. This is the first. Secondly, the sword in your hand is not to be ashamed of the world's guilty people. This is the way of the sword. My generous speech directly made all the disciples and my sister dumbfounded. Sube, hope that all sincere swordsmen in the world can cut the sky with their swords. I only heard me softly drink. A sword came, the world's swords came, and suddenly sword energy flew around. What I didn't expect most was that this performance of mine had harvested the 8th senior sister's heart. Looking at my senior sister's shy appearance as a female single dog, I really can't stand it a bit, only to hear my sister said with high morale, "Senior brother is right. I also want to be like senior brother." Only in a flash, 8th sister, even directly into the middle stage of refining the virtual. Onlookers cannot believe it. "I'm going to be like my senior brother." He said, "It's better to pick a gonfu for the disciple first. The protagonist must cultivate the gonfu." What a big mouth. But to be in the Hidden Sword Pavilion must be extraordinary. I've decided it's you. This high and mighty sister is in love with me. Should I sneak a look? But why do I feel that someone is spying on me? But here it seems, only me and the high gold flower of the Hidden Sword Pavilion, guarding the 9th senior sister off. Hold down the thoughts in my mind. Forget about going back first. I'll sneak a look at it another day while no one is around. Right after I left, 9th senior sister walked to the place where I was searching for the secret book just now. Her gaze a bit shy, high and cold senior sister fell in love with me. I can't imagine the first deep love 5th senior brother in the cultivation world actually want to rape me. Xiao Ruoxiang at this time secretly calculating in her heart the last life with those miscellaneous books to send me off. This time I must directly cultivate the sword dictionary. At this moment, I returned to the house. Disciple, quickly see for the teacher to prepare for you a big treasure. Xiao Ruoxiang was very happy when she heard that. Master, you can't miss it. I've been waiting for you. I am very excited to hold up the secret book. See is here. The protagonist must cultivate skills. Just a moment. Xiao Ruoxiang asked. Master, above is not written. If the bad luck of the Taoist heart is not strong, will die it. I hemmed and hawed a snide to cover up the embarrassment. You do not believe in the teacher. How would the teacher harm you? Hearing my words, Xiao Ruoxiang, face gloomy, unknowingly fell into memory. In order to save me in my last life, I was used as a stepping stone for your career. In order to break through or to satisfy yourself, you even tortured me day and night as a cauldron. Not only that, you even dug out my bones. Is this what you call not harming me? Looking at the dumbfounded disciple, I asked curiously, patting Bedfoot, still holding it for what? Quickly put back. Xiao Ruoxiang turned his head to reveal a sinister expression. I was very strange. Why is this look that wants to kill people? Right, must be want me to teach her kung fu to avenge her family. This child is really poor. I touched this Xiao Ruoxiang's head. Is not homesick? Practice well in the future, not Sword Peak is your home. Yes, master, I'll practice hard and send you home. I have read countless books in the Hidden Sword Pavilion. Before I found this one, you must cherish it. Then Xiao Ruoxi read it, the protagonist of the Son of Luck. If you do not have the confidence of being the Son of Luck, then give up this book. Xiao Ruoxi is secretly a little alarmed. Could it be that the matter of my rebirth has been discovered? No need to set a set of his words. Xiao Ruoxiang carefully asked, Master, this book is so strange. Do you think I am the protagonist and the son of destiny? I said confidently, of course, everyone is the protagonist of his own life. Be confident. I'm going to instill the dome for you. Feel the flow of the air carefully. Don't be distracted and concentrate. Only heard Xiao Ruoxiang hurriedly shouted, Master Dome, disciple so painful. Just at this moment, the eighth sister suddenly appeared. Looking at the scene in front of her, she was simply stunned. Originally she thought that her senior brother was a modest gentleman. Did not think that actually so obscene. Just instantly, the eighth sister broke out, Brother, broad daylight, you actually do this kind of thing here? I hurriedly explained, this is not in the disciple installation. What is wrong with it? The eighth sister was embarrassed. Look at your disciple's expression. Does it look like he's being poured into a dome? At this moment, the eighth sister hurriedly changed the topic. Never mind. In fact, I came here to thank you. If it wasn't for these few words, I don't know when I would have been able to enter the realm of refining void. Xiao Ruoxiang is strange. At least the one who can instruct the refined void must be at the peak of the harmonious Tao. Could it be that this big devil is hiding his cultivation? Brother, I see that my nephew's trousers are very good. Brother, do you have any more? I was slightly stunned. I was going to keep these for myself, but since you want them, I'll give them to you. Eighth sister thanked me. Thank you. I'll put them on and see how they are. Brother, these trousers are so comfortable. After wearing these trousers, is it possible that you don't need to wear a skirt anymore? Seeing the eighth sister so powerful, I instantly spurted blood, and I couldn't stop it. But in order to prevent her from getting naked, I had no choice but to find a suitable set of clothes for her. Afterwards, she changed into the skin I gave her. The headmistress of the peerless swordswoman. Do you know what is the heart of the sword? The heart of the sword is the eye of the sword. For the sword is unrivaled, and will not go forward. The person who holds the sword should have a sharp sword, sharp beliefs, and should dare to challenge. The eighth sister looked with eyes full of admiration. Loki right. Just now you said that the eldest sister wants to give me what to come. I then opened the letter. Due to the clan's financial constraints, I need to organize a party to solve the problem of funding. I am very helpless. What kind of people are these all? But for the great cause of the Sword Clan, in order to big sister, I will also go forward. Eighth sister persuaded the senior brother to forget it. The dunking shop at the bottom of the hill. It has been 20 years have not seen what kind of money the senior sister looks like. I am really stupid. I only know that the eldest sister stingy, but did not expect stingy into this way. The eighth sister said, people are using the repair and reinforcement to do debt. Now that the shop's defense then our Sword Clan are strong. Curious eighth sister asked, Senior brother, you are not stimulated by what has been staring at people look at? Looking at the seductive senior sister, I hastened to cover up the embarrassment and explained, for brother just want to eat soup dumplings. What kind of filling does elder sister eat every time? It should be pork filling. How come the boss give him crop paste? I was slightly stunned. Pork filling, make that immortal pig in my backyard into small dumplings. The funding is not there. And at this moment, Xiao Ruoxi, when he saw the protagonist must cultivate the content on the gongfu, directly exploded. Xiao Ruoxiang tore it to pieces. You big devil, how dare you humiliate me? When I finish cultivating the sword code, I will definitely break you into pieces and send you to the west. At this time, I suddenly appeared. Good disciple, first do not practice. Go to the back of the mountain to count how many immortal pigs Xiao Ruoxiong was stunned. Isn't that the place of the ancestral tomb? Actually want to raise pigs in the ancestral tombs of successive generations of elders. I hurriedly urged. Right, it's going to be dark soon. Remember to bring a torch to light the way. Xiao Ruoxiong thought. I'll light up the ancestral tomb and send you to the cliff with fire and wind, repenting for the rest of your life. It wasn't long before I arrived at the internal meeting of the sword sect. At this time the people had already taken their seats. Ninth sister suddenly realized that these are the clothes that fifth brother had made. That trousers look so comfortable. Why I do not have a senior brother, you really biased a sister body. Now are the fifth brother's taste. Look at the look of adoration in my sister's eyes. She seems to have completely fallen in love. At this time the ninth sister has begun to secretly calculate. Never mind, after all is the sister. Find an opportunity to steal the clothes over is mine. The eldest sister said at this time. Sister just said good. The recruitment meeting is the Sword Clan back to the peak of the opportunity. At this time, the second elder sister looked at me with a playful face and suddenly questioned my ability. I haul 21st century new youth. How can she look down on? Although 10 million people I will go. The second elder sister asked at this time. But the fifth brother, you have the money. Phoenix feather chicken, this kind of god to make soup. The money has been squandered by you. Right. Brother, listen to sister a word of advice. This new recruitment conference you cannot grasp. Why not hand over to the sister to prepare? Besides, fifth senior brother is still at the stage of God realization, so you'll be ridiculed by outsiders. At this time, the first elder sister asked very playfully, so you are very sure of it? When I heard the second elder sister say that the sword sect would thrive under her rule, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Just when I was arguing with the second elder sister, the sixth elder brother suddenly said with great envy, your alchemy is out of this world. I was puzzled. I don't do alchemy. I was puzzled. I didn't do any alchemy. I saw the sixth elder brother pointing to the sky and said, what is that thick smoke doing if it's not alchemy? Just when the meeting of the sword peak was in full swing, a disciple ran in hurriedly. Just heard the disciple said, big trouble. Not the sword peak. Ancestral tomb rose up smoke. The second elder sister was angry. What's wrong with you? You can't even look after your own mountain. Suddenly an aroma reached Lao Liu's nose, which instantly made his mouth water, only to see the old six muttered, will not do his roasted suckling pig under when dishes are calling me. Hearing the three words roasted suckling pig, I felt bad and flew directly to the not sword peak. My pig up. I secretly prayed in my heart, this fire don't burn all the old immortal pig, otherwise it will be miserable. At this moment, the ancestral tomb of Bu Jianfeng has been burned beyond recognition by my good disciple. Xiao Ruoxiong rushed to find a place to hide, sitting and waiting to see me being shut down the clan punishment, and I was ultimately a step too late, looking at a field of corpses. My pick my money relative to my misery. The sight of the old six is eaten with gusto, constantly praised again and again. Several senior sisters were furious. How dare you use your ancestral tomb to raise pigs? Really deceiving your master. My big plan to raise pigs, my startup capital. If I didn't prepare torches for my disciples, I wouldn't have gone bankrupt straight away. Lao Liu sniffed. Senior brother, if you want to count the pigs, you come to me. I'm sure I won't miss a single one. Big sister asked it this time. In that case, I am afraid that the person who counted the pigs and the person who set the fire are inseparable. Xiao Bei, where is your disciple? Xiao Ruoxiong heard some fear. Looks like the eldest elder seems to intend to let me take the blame. It is better to wait and see what happens. I don't care about anything else at this time. Just looking at my walking 50,000 tails, holding my head and crying. At this time, the second elder sister began to me. The ancestral tomb was destroyed is a great crime. No matter how you argue, face the wall. 50 years a day is not less. Eighth sister rushed to stand in front of me to explain for me. Fifth brother has been pointing out to me, but went to the council chamber on a trip to the ancestral tomb on fire. Ninth senior sister is secretly jealous at this time, not only wearing the clothes given by senior brother, but also pointing out the sword technique. Not to separate you guys, only to see the ninth senior sister said righteously. Burning the ancestral tomb is a great sin, no matter who is unforgivable. The eighth senior sister was speechless. Sister elder sister has not finished asking questions. You are not good to the fifth senior brother, right? Ninth senior sister was simply shocked at this time. She didn't expect the eighth senior sister to defend me so much. At this time, the second elder sister came to add fuel to the fire, and said that even if it was your disciple who did it, you can't escape the blame. At this moment, everyone has their own secret thoughts in their hearts. The eldest senior sister has been meditating in her heart, but she can't admit her guilt, or else she really can help. While the ninth senior sister thought of herself, also burn an ancestral tomb, so that she can be locked up with me to have children. The second senior sister pressed step by step. Senior brother still don't quickly explain. That female disciple in the end, who is it? Are you kidding me? I'm counting on my disciple to pull over my eyes for the rest of my life. How can I let her face the wall? And this loser is the son of luck. What she does must have her significance. Xiao Roshan was happy in her heart. Master, that chicken soup didn't bring you down last time. I don't believe that you can still get away with burning ancestral graves this time. Master, you still lost to me after all. At this moment, I pointed my finger at Bujian Peak and said loudly, "This fire is what this senior told my disciple to set," only to see the eyes of the second elder sister gloomy. "Subei, this is what you said yourself. It is you and also your disciple to set the fire." I looked at the system rewards to pretend to say, "That's right, is my father. You want to make things difficult for me. Do not make things difficult for my good disciple." But all of you are not curious about why I want to burn the ancestral tomb. The second elder sister with a disdainful face. "You don't want to make a fuss anymore. Now no one can save you." I didn't pay any attention to the crowd. I just kept channeling my aura into the ancestral tomb. At that moment, Lao Yu suddenly realized that the tomb was glittering, as if it was about to explode. Before Lao Yu could react, the tomb exploded with a bang. Then all the swords floated in the air. Lao Lu bobbed. "My pig's leg, you're not a sword. What are you flying for?" Xiao Roshan, who was hiding behind the stone, looked puzzled. What was going on? Why did the explosion of the ancestral tomb cause the resonance of all the elders' swords? Afterwards, I recited the incantation and showed everyone a wave of gold splitting and point fixing technique. After an explosion, the sword sect's most precious treasure, the Qingping sword, was standing in the middle of it. Everyone looked at me with surprise. What is going on here? How did the Qingping sword get here? So I slowly said, "Not in vain I practice the art of exploration. Finally is let me find it." The second sister burned the ancestral tomb is actually for the Qingping sword. How? Is this reason enough? In fact, I was very panicked inside. Fortunately this time the system is more reliable. Otherwise I really have to go to face the wall. In addition to the second sister, the other sisters, all of them cast a worshipful gaze at me. The eighth sister even exclaimed, "So you burned down the ancestral tomb for the Qingping sword. It's really handsome." I looked at the second elder sister with a cocky face. "I have committed the crime of burning the ancestral tomb. The second elder sister, I have to go to face the cliff for a few years." Eldest sister rushed over to excuse me. "Can't get the Qingping sword. Is not the sword blade blow up is not too much." At this moment, my good disciple also appeared, crying because the clothes were burned and did not dare to come out. I looked at the child's pitiful appearance, and then put the cloak on her body to put it on her. "There is no need to say much. Whatever you say, Master believes you. Who made you my good disciple?" Xiao Roshan looked at me with a deep look on his face. "Why has Master become so gentle in this life? Wait, I don't believe it. He must be pretending. I won't fall for it again. I must send him to his death." But the second elder sister still didn't give up. "Since you already knew that the sword sect's greatest treasure was here, why didn't you tell me in advance?" The first sister also suddenly asked, after searching for a long time, "How did you know that the Qingping sword is here?" I had no choice but to continue to make up lies. I found myself. How to cultivate spiritual weapons are not related to me. Even so, I did not give up on myself. Still cultivate day and night. Do not deceive the young poor. This sentence has been echoing in my ears. A senior sister suddenly interrupted me at this time. "Elder brother, is this related to finding the Qingping sword? How do you know that you need to use the method of fire to do it?" "Eldest sister, this is a secret that eldest brother does not want to mention, and can only be savored by oneself alone, just like this Qingping sword, which has stood here alone for 100 years. At this moment, the eldest senior sister pushed me away, intending to pull out the green pink sword of the ancestral tomb of Buji and Fan. But the eldest sister used all her strength, only to see that the Qingping sword did not have a trace of movement. While lying on the side of the old six heart is thinking, not the ancestral tomb of the sword peak can be burned out of the sword. Other peaks can certainly also be out of the sword. Thinking of him, a burst of dark laughter, as if he had discovered something extraordinary. I can really be a big smart-ass. At this time, the first elder sister has already given up. It seems that this kind of divine sword, only master that old man is qualified to pull up. The second elder sister looked at the Qingping sword. If this kind of precious sword can be inserted in the most sword front, how good that is what kind of honor Just at this moment, the disciple of the most sword peak rushed to report that the ancestral tomb of the most sword peak was also on fire. It seems that the sixth elder, I don't know what kind of wind he had, was drinking with one hand and setting fire with the other. Hearing this, the second sister hurriedly flew towards the most sword peak. "Old six, you little brat, are you tired of living? "What are you boys doing? Quickly give the old lady to stop," only to see the old six dashing turn around and said, "Sister, the best feng shui of the sword clan is the most Jianfeng, not the sword blade as the Qingping sword. The most sword blade must have a rare treasure. Today see me burn out the treasure for you." The second elder sister saw this. Now even if it is no longer helpful to stop, can only pray that there is really a treasure underneath. The elder sister who came to the scene quickly scolded Lao Liu, telling him to stop. Why burn the ancestral tomb again? But the second elder sister suddenly blocked in front of Lao Liu and said that she had told Lao Liu to do this, and said that there must be a treasure underneath. Seeing that he had the support of the second elder sister, Lao Liu instantly turned on the fire and came out with the big sword. But the next second all the people are dumbfounded. "Open the treasure, it. Not even a fart. All the ashes." Big sister said with an angry face, "You two idiots, give me to face the cliff to reflect properly. At the moment, I am lying in the pavilion," reprimanded my good disciple, "simply too much for me to worry about. You this girl, only come to the sword clan today's. Give me to break such a big trouble. If a few more years is not still want to send me this master to the west. At this moment, Xiao Ruqin is very panicked inside. "Su Bei, this big devil, how does he know that I have been trying to send him to his death? It seems that he is going to show his cards to me today. I guess I am going to be finished this time." But just when Xiao Ruqin was thinking blindly, a finger was placed at her lips. I only heard me say very gently, "My silly disciple, why are you sitting on the ground? The trousers I made for you have been torn by you. What a pity. I have customized a lot of trousers for you. I will change them for you. You should treasure them." At this moment, Xiao Ruqi's heart is very struggling. "Have you forgotten how I treated you in the last life? Really no talent. Afterwards, Xiao Ruqian daintily said, "Thank you, master. Thank you for your concern and the new clothes." Looking at this child's appearance, I am very speechless. "You don't give me cute here. I can't let this matter go. I'll teach you a lesson when I have the chance later. My good disciple, take good care of your injuries. Today you can rest in the grass hall. I'll go to the pigsty to deal with the night." Xiao Ruqian secretly swears, "You treat me better, but it won't change my heart. I will send you back to the west in this life. In my previous life, my overstuffed bladder caused my body's function to malfunction, and I was spiritually transported to the immortal cultivation world. The most handsome man in the sword sect. I was naturally liked by countless female sisters and apprentices. At night, with a cold look on her face and wearing the skin of a peerless swordsmith, she came to challenge me. I only heard the 8th senior sister pointing at me and said, "Senior brother's sword technique during the day is vivid in my mind. I hope that senior brother will point it out." I said pretentiously, "It does come up short on flavor, so since you like it, I'll demonstrate it some more." I then pulled up the sword next to me and showed my Taikai swordblade to the 8th sister. Then I asked my sister if she remembered the sword technique. She whispered, "Only a little bit." Though she's usually a bit naive, she can't forget her swordsmanship, and she's really only remembered a little bit. Then the 8th senior sister said coyly, "Senior brother, I've forgotten all about the sword technique just now." "I'll tell 8th sister. It seems you've got all the essence of this sword technique. Is there anything else you want to ask now?" I only heard 8th sister ask, "Elder brother, you can obviously pull out the Qingping sword. Why do you refuse to show it during the day?" I merely drew a sword in passing just now, and just now I actually drew the Qingping sword. Does it mean it's finally time for my highlight? I can't miss such a great opportunity. I was going to show my sister again how I pulled out the Qingping sword, but unfortunately now the Qingping sword is not moving at all. At this moment, I am embarrassed. Senior sister, you do not know. This kind of divine object must already have a spirit. Let senior brother first communicate with him. Ditch. I was going to show off in front of the 8th sister, but now I can't pull it out. After a while, I told my senior sister that this Qingping sword had a mind of its own and that it had gone to sleep. 8th senior sister looked puzzled. Swords can sleep too. I told her, "Is there anyone who gets up in the middle of the night to practice sword training like us?" And just then, someone actually flew in our direction. 8th sister said that the visitor seemed to have her sister's aura. The 8th master, who was about to say hello, was stopped by me and instructed to let him go and hide in the pigsty for a while. "You just teaching me how to practice. Why are you so nervous? If her sister finds out, she'll beat me up." I then said, "Now is the critical time to cultivate the sword hard. It is most avoidable for others to disturb you." I hastily patted 8th sister's arse, urging her to get inside and hide. Afterwards, the 8th sister hid herself in the haystack as I instructed, not daring to make a single sound. At this moment, the 9th senior sister, with an expectant face, flew towards me, looking very eager. At this time, she thought in her heart, today, senior brother finally fell alone, and then we will be alone in a room together. But she had just walked over when she smelled a woman's scent, and this one smelled more like her sister's. Right at this moment, I appeared in front of the ninth senior sister with a face of deep emotion. Looking at the ninth senior sister, with a deer in the headlights in her heart, ninth sister thought to herself that her senior brother was truly worthy of being a real man, carrying the sins of his disciple during the day and enduring loneliness alone at night. What ninth sister didn't expect was that my hallowed sword sex beautiful man had become so lonely that he was reciting poetry to a pigsty. Just then ninth senior sister suddenly felt something was wrong. There must be something odd about senior brother chanting poetry to a pigsty in the middle of the night. I looked at ninth senior sister and asked in a very puzzled manner, "Why did you appear in the middle of the night at No Sword Peak?" Only to see the senior sister icy reply, "Just enjoy the moon. How senior brother's not Sword Peak I cannot come." Looking at the moon looming in the sky, the ninth sister hurriedly said, "If you have the moon in your heart, you can enjoy it even without the moon. Usually all kinds of despise me. Now you sneak over in the middle of the night. Isn't it for the sake of seeing the Chinping sword? But I'm a man of style. How could I care about that? For brother, this is not Sword Peak. You can come anytime." Yet why isn't she drawing her sword and looking left and right for something? Did she find her sister? Ninth senior sister looked at me with a displeased face. Senior brother is really annoying, actually hanging out with others. Ninth senior sister suddenly realized that there were other people's footprints on the ground, and there seemed to be her sister's stick as well. I hurriedly let out a loud shout and told the ninth senior sister that it was senior brother who had just comprehended a stance that required him to float his feet at all times. Senior is really strange. Isn't this just a horse stance? And why is there a ruler under his feet? At this moment, the ninth senior sister also felt the oar on the ruler and ran towards it. I panicked a batch internally. I must not be found by him. I only saw that I quickly took the ruler back and scratched my back. Ninth senior sister, it's getting late. Senior brother is ready to rest and go. Ninth senior sister calmly said, "Senior brother, please go ahead. Today the moon is just right. I will enjoy the moon here. Sleepy, I will rest on this pile of grass." I rushed to stop the ninth senior sister. How can such a high and mighty ninth senior sister of my sword sex sleep on a pile of grass? Looking at my tense expression and the ruler that she had just discovered, ninth senior sister then took a leap of faith and rushed towards the haystacks. I only saw me flash and take the lead to lie on top of the grass, and the eighth sister let out a gasp of surprise. Ninth senior sister asked suspiciously at this time, "What was that sound just now?" I hurriedly explained it was me being too comfortable. Ninth senior sister looked at me. "Senior brother, why are you sweating so much? It's better to go and rest in a comfortable place." At this moment, I am embarrassed. So it seems that I can't just sit back and wait for it to happen. It's said that this kind of high-strung beauty hates touching men the most. I then revealed a lewd expression. Senior sister is right. In that case, it's time for my brother to rest. Ninth senior sister's cheeks are red. Senior brother, your acting skills are so bad. But just then, I'm about to fall down if I don't pay attention. I only saw ninth senior sister flying towards me with a sliding shovel, and I happened to fall into ninth senior sister's arms. At this moment, how do I feel? How does the ninth senior sister seem to have a satisfied look? Ninth senior sister is simply happy in her heart. I'm finally lying in senior brother's arms. This feeling is really too good. But just at this moment, eldest sister actually flew towards me as well. I was speechless. Don't people rest at night? Ninth senior sister wondered why eldest senior sister had also come. Was she also interested in senior brother? If eldest sister hadn't come, maybe I would have taken eldest brother just now, and we'd have had a baby in 10 months. But the head can be broken and blood can flow. The high and cold persona cannot be lost. It is better to quickly hide first. So ninth sister took advantage of my inattention to get into the haystack, claiming to be sorting out her clothes. Ninth senior sister was furious. "I can't believe it's you, who is dating fifth senior brother. Quickly tell me what you're doing here at night, wearing such tight, thin trousers and no bib. What have you been doing behind my back? Come on, tell me the truth." But right at this moment, when the two heard the voice of the eldest senior sister, the two sisters instantly made peace and pointed the finger at the eldest senior sister. At this time, eldest sister pouted at me, and I had a headache. Eldest sister, pay attention. This is a bad influence. And just then, eldest sister also discovered that the footprints on the ground were actually two people. "Little baby, you've grown up." Suddenly big sister sensed that something was wrong. The Chinping sword had been pulled out by someone. Who would this person be? If it were little Bei Bei, he'd have set it out in the daytime to show it off in public. But now it's so low-key that it doesn't feed his persona. So eldest sister planned to test me with a provocative method to see if it was me who pulled out the Qingping sword. I only heard the eldest senior sister say that the person who could pull out the Qingping sword was either strong or was recognized by the Qingping sword. At this time, I don't want to understand the recognition of the Qingping sword at all. I just want to understand how my senior sister developed so well. Eldest sister said that only the selfless realm can pull out the Qingping sword, and I'm afraid that no one in the three sword set can be in this realm. Elder sister is right. The selfless realm, that's a threshold that a cultivator may not be able to step into in their entire life. Xiaobei, don't be so frustrated. Let's not talk about this. There's something big sister wants you to help me with. I suspect that some people are trying to harm our sword sect recently. Half a month ago, a group of sword sect disciples disappeared in Mo City, so I want to take the opportunity of this recruitment to ask little Bei Bei to help me to investigate secretly. I don't know if little Bei Bei will be willing to. Inside I didn't want to go, but just then the system suddenly prompted that a red sun of fortune had actually been found in Mo City. In the next second, in the shocked gaze of the eldest sister, I directly changed my face. As an elder of the sword sect, I'm obliged. Elder sister, don't worry. The sword clan disciples are like family to me. How can you tell me to stay out of it? This matter will be left to me. And the ninth senior sister, hiding in the pile of grass, was complaining. If her sister hadn't come, she might have taken down her senior brother long ago. Damn it! Eighth sister is puzzled. Sister, are you alright? Are you going off the deep end? Why is your face red? The two of them then fought in the haystack again, and the sound of the two of them fighting was discovered by the elder sister on the side, only to see the two at this time has fought from the inside to the outside. The eighth sister with a panicked face said, Sister, you normal point I'm afraid of. Eldest sister looked at the two and asked, Why are you two sisters hiding in the grass? Are you afraid that you'll be caught on a date? The eighth sister quickly explained, We just came to find senior brother to learn swordsmanship. Senior brother can be very powerful. Just now also pulled out the Qingping sword. Eldest sister looked at me and said, I didn't think that little Bei Bei could pull out the Qingping sword. I don't know if I can demonstrate it to my sister. I'm embarrassed. I wanted to show it off, but it's not responding at all. Eighth sister told eldest sister that I was struggling to communicate with the Qingping sword just now, so maybe I can't. Eldest sister sniffed. So, then let's forget it. After all, everyone has times when they can't. I only saw that I was holding the Qingping sword in my hand, and I looked grave and extraordinarily angry. And a man can't say no. On the other side, Xiao Ruosheng was working hard to cultivate the sword dictionary, and nearly broke through the qi refining realm after only one day. Xiao Ruoshi thought to himself, I really am a great pride in the immortal cultivation world, and I still have to work harder to send my master back to the world as soon as possible. And just as Xiao Ruosheng continued to cultivate, she unexpectedly felt the legendary selfless realm. Xiao Ruoshi's confidence has doubled. It seems that in this life's 21 state clan competition, Xiao Ruoshi will be honored at the top. I'm a little embarrassed at the moment. There aren't many people yet. Should I concede? When there are more people, I won't be able to use my sword again. The eighth sister behind me saw that I was slow to make a move and thought that I was waiting for everyone to come and participate in this moment of witnessing a miracle together again. So they shouted, Fifth senior brother is going to draw the Qingping sword. Everyone come quickly come Lei cannot see the elder sister. You are really watching the fun. It didn't take long for no sword peak to be surrounded by disciples who were eating it. The eldest senior sister rushed forward to understand from the sisterhood, Can I really pull out the Qingping sword, so as not to lose face when the time comes? At this moment, the second sister and the sixth sister, who were on their way to the facing cliff to contemplate their lives, suddenly heard a noise from below. I only heard the disciples below say that the fifth elder is going to draw the Qingping sword today, so everyone is going to observe and watch. Hearing this, the second senior sister burst into a rage. What qualification did this little trash Subei have to draw the Qingping sword? Today, I would like to see what makes Subei able to pick up the Qingping sword. And then he flew in the direction of no sword peak. Lao Liu quickly explained, We just go over to take a look. We'll be back in a while. After all, passing by not sword peak, say hello is also very reasonable. Eldest sister looked at me very puzzled and asked, Why haven't you done it yet? Are there too many people getting nervous? I was just about to explain when Lao Liu the kid suddenly flew down. All out of the way. I want to see my elder brother pretend to be a pimp. The next second bang landed directly on the head and gave everyone a hard knock. The crowd was speechless for a while, and just then, the second elder sister came to mess things up again, actually saying that I was some kind of cat or dog, not worthy of touching the supreme treasure in the sword. Then the second elder sister said to the bottom, Subei, a person who sells his name and reputation, degrades the most precious treasure in the sword. I was all upset. Even old Six, the kid, chimed in, these two are really shady. I don't need to think about it to know that these two must be secretly counting on me, wanting to take me to the wall with them. And right at this moment, the system suddenly prompted Xiao Ruoshun to break through the chi refining realm. Comprehending a hint of the selfless realm, I was also rewarded for this and comprehended the selflessness grand completion realm, truly worthy of being a son of fortune, truly my savior. Next is my home ground. Today Subei dares to pull out the clan's most precious treasure, the Qingping sword. Please witness. However, the senior sister is screaming again. The Qingping sword is also something you can get your hands on. You are so low-eyed, you only know snarling and barking. Even the senior sister directly to the crowd bluntly said, if you can pull out the Qingping sword, I say Qingyi on the spot to eat a caddy of shit. But the next second, I directly hit her in the face, gently waved my hand and pulled up the Qingping sword without the slightest effort, only to see countless sword shadows all surrounding the top of the no-sword peak. All of a sudden the no-sword peak was surrounded by sword chi, with an astonishing aura, with my perfect performance this time. Watching the 8th and 9th sisters, the 2 sisters were also adoring me. The second elder sister was simply furious at this time. Just such a guy who only knew how to eat, drink and have fun. On what grounds did the Qingping sword recognize it? Xiao Ruoshun, who had just broken through the chi refining realm, was complacent when she accidentally comprehended a trace of the realm of selflessness. Suddenly Xiao Ruoshun noticed the appearance of a vision. What in the world has happened? Did the 6th elder's burning of the ancestral tomb really bring out the sword sect's greatest treasure? Looking at the sword shadows surrounding is Buji and Fan. Xiao Ruoshun was puzzled as to what had happened, so she hurriedly ran towards Buji and Fan. At this moment, Xiao Ruoshun collapsed on the ground. This big devil has even become a great success. How in the world am I going to take revenge? At this moment, Xiao Ruoshun collapsed on the ground. This big devil has even become a great success. How in the world am I going to take revenge? At this time, Big Sister is very puzzled. Little Bei, how exactly did you realize the realm of selflessness? I pretended to be a superior person, and slowly said that the so-called sword path, the most important thing to stay away from is feelings. Women only affect the speed of drawing the sword. Brothers, remember, there is no woman in your heart to draw the sword naturally. The second elder sister is very angry at this time. Subei, this and other people become famous, and so on 50 years, face the wall of the period of the past. This sword clan does not stay also. Looking at the crowd talking about it, Big Sister shouted, "Oh, give me quiet. What's the matter with you? What to do to disperse?" At this time, inside a room in Mo City, a woman was constantly practicing how to turn a person into a eunuch, only to see a high-cool beauty walk out from the house. Lear, the letters of visit from the first-class sects are all here. If you want to go to any clan with these qualifications, you can go to any clan in the 21 states. When Mo Li saw the recruitment meeting of the sword sect, he immediately chose the sword sect. Now that I am a man of 2 worlds, Subei, I will send you back to the west. At this moment, I am preparing the things I need to go out. Xiao Ruoshun puzzled, Master, what are we going to do when we go down the mountain? I threw the task list at him, and it wasn't you who made Master a pauper with a fire. Now we're going to go out and pull investment. Xiao Ruoshun then brought a large bag with her with the intention of setting off. I was slightly stunned. Apprentice, are you going back to your mother's house? Xiao Ruoshi said in a low voice. Master Qing'er no longer has a home. This is all the family belongings of the feelings. I quickly went up to Comfort and took out the storage ring to give it to her. Well, don't get carried away. You should be able to open it now in the chi practicing realm. Xiao Ruoshun looked at the storage ring in her hand. Master, if you guys were always like this, how good would it be? Walking on the road, I told Xiao Ruoshun, don't fret about cultivation. Master will find a way to help. Looking at her sad look, I said seriously, walking in the jungle always bored faces not make friends. To smile more. Now I'm going to help my master to unbuckle his belt. Xiao Ruoshi was stunned. Master, what are you doing in the middle of nowhere? Of course my teacher is going to show you a treasure. Rare for my teacher, big for you. This is the newbie package I prepared for you. How about I treat you well? Xiao Ruosheng looked at Su Bei in front of her. In my previous life, I had not even seen the shadow of the elixir, and now such a precious elixir was given to me casually. Xiao Ruosheng at this time is very entangled inside. Su Bei, in the end, which one is the real you? Looking at the speed limit system reward bar, I was upset. Just the beginning of the fears a few times. What's with the speed limit? If you are not a member, you will be prompted that the content is abnormal and can't be accelerated. Forget it. Just hurry up and get going. In this way, the two of us arrived at Mo City in a short while, and in front of us was the city gate to enter Mo City. I looked at Mo Chen and couldn't help but sigh. It's been about a month since my master came, and the last time I came was the last time. Entering the city, many vendors were selling enrollment information for all the major sects. The variety was very rich, only to hear a man ask, "Is there any information about the Sword Sect?" Sword Sect? Such a rubbish sect. Dog shook his head when he heard it. Xiao Ruosheng and I were slightly stunned. The Sword Sect's reputation is so poor. It seems I really need to revitalize the sect. The man added, "The Sword Sect is at least a first-class sect. My sister is determined to go to the Sword Sect, and will also worship his idol, the Fifth Elder." As a teacher, I came to the front of the man. "What is your name, The man was a little excited, thinking that his chance to come. I only saw the man excitedly introduce himself. "I am the son of the Mo family. My name is Mo Xiaocheng." I was happy in my heart. I had just come down the mountain and met the son of Purple Qi. It was just a bit of a pity that it was a male Xiaocheng. The Sword Sect is only a bottom-tier, first-tier sect nowadays. Have you considered going to some better sects? The man thought at this point that this must be a test from my seniors. The man then said, "My sister and I both think that the Sword Sect is being underestimated." That man was even more excited and said, "Moreover, I heard that the Fifth Elder of the Sword Sect not only has a heavenly face value, but also has unparalleled sword skills." Just when I was planning to ask Sister Xiaocheng specifically, my good disciple was already waiting impatiently, so I left Xiaocheng a token and told him to give him a creation at the same time and place on the bright moon. And then I left. I then led Xiao Ruosheng to the entrance of the Red Pavilion, and Xiao Ruosheng said, "Master, it's not good for us to come to this place." "Is it? What do you take Master for?" "I am going in to criticize them severely." Just as we were going in, there actually seemed to be someone following behind us. "Girl, this place is not for women," the woman next to him said. "Don't mind him. Why don't you do it if you have a deal? Please come inside." Returning home, Xiaocheng hurriedly said to Mo Li, "Sister, I bumped into an elder of the Sword Sect today. This elder is most likely the Fifth Elder of the Sword Sect." "Su Bei," Mo Li excitedly asked Xiaocheng, "Are you sure it's the Fifth Elder of the Sword Sect?" "Su Bei, are you sure it's that person?" Xiaocheng was taken aback. "You just said you want to be Sable. I met Elder Su today when I was shopping. He came to Mo Chen. I'm telling you, I'm not going to let you have Elder Su. That's my chance. You don't want a piece of it." However, Mo Li directly snatched the token. "Su Bei, I haven't even gone to look for yours yet, and you just sent it to my door yourself." On the other hand, I was surrounded by a group of girls just after I entered the Red Pavilion. There's no way. Who let brother not only handsome, but also money? I pulled out a few pieces of broken gold. I asked them to arrange a room, and asked them for clues about the lost disciples of the Sword Sect of the Near Moon. "Elder Su, you can come with me. I'll tell Xiao Ruosheng to go to her room and stay there. I'm going to go do my business." Then the girl asked me if I had enough ransom money for this visit. I was puzzled. What ransom? Doesn't Elder Su know? During the Flower Leader competition, the Sword Sect disciples were trying to give the sect a boost, but unfortunately, they only brought people and no money. Looking at the disciples' appearance, I asked angrily, even if the Sword Sect disciple didn't have any money with him, the Red Pavilion couldn't abuse the lynchings, could it? "Elder Su, you've wronged us. They're playing with themselves. We haven't touched a finger. These disgraceful things. I'll teach you a lesson. I'll give you a good beating without any mercy." I looked at the ledger that was brought to me. My head was big. Old me raised those immoral pigs are not as dashing as you three, for a while expensive. I hastened to ask my sister to take me to their Red Court steward, to talk to him personally myself. I told these three disciples, it's not that this elder doesn't want to save them. It's that I don't have any more money either. So you guys might as well just scrub in here and pay your debts. As they say, if you make a mistake, you have to admit it. If you are beaten, you have to stand up straight. And if you have given someone a hold on you, you have to bear the consequences. I didn't forget to encourage them. When you become the head of the Red Pavilion, this elder will visit you sometime. Elder Su, the head of our Red Pavilion, is the Star Moon Sect's patriarch. The patriarch has been waiting inside for a while. Star Moon Sect patriarch Fish Red Sleeve is really beautiful. Ask which man can resist her temptation. Even the selfless realm of the great I also want to champion sword alert. This demonic clan demon as horror as this. I came to the front and said to him, Star Moon Sect Patriarch's charming technique is really powerful. Almost I was hit by it. Fish Red Sleeve heart secretly thought, I did not expect this Sube actually have such a determination. In my charm actually look and changed. There are not many men in the world who can resist the charm of my father. Could it be that my father's charm is not enough? I said lightly. This time I came here to represent the Sword Sect, to talk about cooperation with your Star Moon Sect. Fish Red Sleeve hand over the lips, very flattering, said that I do not know the Sun can represent the Sword Clan. Fish Red Sleeve looked at the champion sword in my hand with some curiosity. It was at least a peak earth grade sword. What is this Sube capable of? Fish Red Sleeve didn't believe that the Sword Sect, which couldn't even take out 10 million taels of gold, had any capital to cooperate. I told her that as long as our two clans work together, we'll bring in at least 10 million taels of gold a year, which is several times more than the Red Pavilion's income. It turns out that the person who followed earlier was actually the 9th senior sister, who found Xiao Ruosheng and wanted to take her away from me, to prevent the two of us from being together, only to see the 9th senior sister take out a supreme treasure, like the spirit pearl of heaven and earth, saying that as long as she worshipped her as a master, this treasure would be given to her. Although Xiao Ruosheng was very moved, but thinking that there were other senior sisters waiting to be rescued, she still refused the 9th senior sister. Then 9th senior sister said, that spirit bead will be your gift for worshipping the 5th elder as your master. But I have to remind you that your master is not as good as you think. Xiao Ruosheng looked at the spirit bead in her hand. Could it be that the 9th elder had already seen through the nature of her master, and that was why she had been so bad to her master? On the other hand, I was explaining the concept of microblogging to Fish Red Sleeve, who asked what the point was of the two clans joining forces. Even though the idea was good, I told her that once we stabilized, even if someone tried to get in, it would just be a mouthful of tepid soup. Fish Red Sleeve could not help but sigh. What a terrible mind. How come I have not heard of this character before? I looked at Fish Red Sleeve, who was in deep thought, and asked very confidently, I wonder how well the Pavilion Master has considered it. Elder Su is really a business genius. Once this is done, there will be more than 10 million gold. This tactic is simply amazing. Elder Su isn't afraid that I'll kill you and copy your idea. Sword Sect 5th Elder, you're bluffing. Such a good brain. It is a pity to kill it. It is a good idea to be the forbidden domain of the Red Pavilion, said Fish Red Sleeve, ready to attack me. And the 9th senior sister, who just left, is secretly rejoicing. Just now that move to disassociate is really perfect. The senior brother must be his own. But right at this moment, she suddenly felt a terrifying auras, one of which was actually the sword aura of the Qingping sword. 9th senior sister immediately exclaimed that it was not good. It must be that senior brother is in trouble. Senior brother, hold on. I'm coming to save you. At this moment, I am very calm. Patriarch Fish, I will take what I said just now as you joking with me. Elder Su, what if I wasn't joking just now? After all, I can send you to your death with just one finger. I smiled slightly. I would be afraid of her, who let me have a son of Kai. And just now, my disciple made another breakthrough. At this moment, I only saw my system prompting me that it had actually rewarded me with the peak harmonization experience cards, and that I had also broken through to the middle stage of incarnation. Fish Red Sleeve puzzled. This guy enigmatic confidence in the end from where? Aren't you afraid? I calmly drink tea, and Fish Red Sleeve at this time angry. Good arrogance. I would like to see Elder Su have a few pounds into. However, I put my arm around Fish Red Sleeve. Don't you want to know where I get my confidence from? Fish Red Sleeve smiled coldly. Eloquent and eloquent, but unfortunately it was worthless in front of absolute strength. Then today I will show you. I only saw me pull out the Hato Peak 5-minute experience card, and the next moment was to witness a miracle. At this moment, I animated the aura of the Peak of Harmonious Tao, surrounded by sword chi. My aura was amazing, and in an instant, I suppressed Fish Red Sleeve. Fish Red Sleeve couldn't believe it. Only 500 years old, and already at the peak of harmonization. This was absolutely impossible. I smiled slightly. Patriarch Fish need not be surprised. I've always been a person who likes to keep a low profile and doesn't like to show off. At this moment, the Fish Red Sleeve has completely fallen, and hastily hugged me tightly, intending to use the beauty trick on me. But how could I not know this little trick? So I took on the persona of the first deep love in the immortal world, constantly pulling each other in the midst of my feelings. And finally Fish Red Sleeve agreed to cooperate. Fish Red Sleeve at this time is more sad, so elder call concubine Fish Master, oddly distinctive. How about calling me sister, can be good. Then even took out the Star Moon Order. With this thing, can enjoy all the resources of the Star Moon sect. See the order as see the master. Fish Red Sleeve petulant said, this Star and Moon Order only belongs to you and the Sword Clan has nothing to do with. I want to make a friend with Elder Sue. I can't help but sigh in my heart. This woman is really bold. In that case, I'll take this token. We also need to trouble Sister Fish to prepare 1,000,000 taels of gold. Fish Horn Sleeve agreed without even thinking about it. As a courtesy, then my brother should give my sister an item as well. I still have things to do, so I'll take my leave first. Fish Red Sleeve looked at the gift in her hand. It seemed to be a sock, but it was a little long. It seems that her brother has a lot of good things on him, and this scene happened to be also seen by the 9th sister behind the door. The 9th sister asked, I do not know what exactly is the relationship between you and my senior brother. Don't you know our relationship? When she heard this, she was so angry that the 9th sister was about to hit her with her sword, only to see the 9th senior sister's breath skyrocket, and her mouth said angrily, Demon girl, why did you compel your senior brother to detain the Sword Sect's disciples? Fish Red Sleeve didn't put her in her eyes at all. You are Elder Sue's senior sister, or else your strength in the early stage of refining void is worthy of talking to this father. However, in the end, the two are also a disagreement on the start of the fight. In order to me greatly out of the fight, at time actually fight very exciting. The 9th senior sister was ultimately outmatched and still lost. After all, Fish Red Sleeve's harmonization realm was not something she could deal with. Fish Red Sleeve also did not forget to make a mockery of it. Also do not take a look in the mirror. How can Sube like a brute like you? And this sentence also deeply hit the heart of the 9th sister. So I am in the eyes of others like this. How could brother like a good for nothing and a nuisance? But can the words of the demon sex demoness really be trusted? 9th senior sister could not help but shed tears. How could senior brother look at me like that? I don't believe it. I have to find senior brother to ask about it. 9th senior sister, who was just about to knock on the door and enter, heard Xiao Ruoshong and I discussing what kind of person she really was. In my eyes, the 9th sister from the Stillwater, gentle and elegant, or when they year to be the teacher for her to shake a tree peach blossom little girl. 9th senior sister doubt there is such a thing. How do I not know? This kind of small things even I myself have forgotten. But senior brother Kun, remember good gentle Star Moon Demoness. I'll take this revenge. I have to find a good place to break through the middle stage of void refining. At this moment I am complacent. The first deep love in the immortal world. Is it not a vain name? Girls should like these the most. Looking at Xiao Ruoshong, who was still dazed, I hurriedly shouted, well, it is better to first go with my master to rescue the sect disciples. Soon, I was able to free all the disciples in the clan, and even intimidated them into joining my recruiting team. Once the several disciples heard that joining the recruiting team would exempt them from the clan's punishment, they thanked me one after another. People saw the Sword Sect disciples behind me and talked. Good man, this is the first time I've seen a clan reunion come here. Just as I came out of the Red Pavilion, the new son of Chi finally appeared. Mo Li of the Mo City Mo clan. Meet Elder Sue of the Sword Sect. At this moment, I was all excited. Red Chi, this was definitely the second disciple I was looking for. At this time, the Mo sisters are slipping up to me, and Mo Xiaochun is even chattering incessantly at this time. Mo Li, who came to serve the tea, was about to fall down accidentally, and I was baffled. What is the operation of tripping on the left foot and the right foot? Luckily, I was quick on my feet and didn't get burned yet. Mo Li quickly apologized, and I told her that it was nothing. Everyone has slippery feet sometimes. Elder Su, wait, I have paper here. But while Mo Li was rummaging for the paper, a small knife flew towards my bottom. Luckily, I've practiced the Ling Liang Yi finger, otherwise I'd have become a eunuch. It's just horrible, Xiao Ruoshi said. But master, it's not the blade of the sword you're clamping. It's the edge of the sword. Your hand seems to be bleeding. I have a black line on my face. What kind of bad luck did I have today? If I didn't know you, I'd simply suspect that you did it on purpose. Mo Li explains in aggravation that the dagger was used by her for self-defense, and that it was coated with harmony. I'm speechless. The dagger is coated with poison for defense. I can still understand what the hell you're coating this aphrodisiac with. Afraid that you won't be able to run away. But as an elder of the Sword Sect, how could I be bothered with her? Besides, she's still the son of Mai Kai. I asked Mo Li. I heard that you are very keen on the sword sect. Mo Li immediately replied that her first choice in life was the sword sect. Hearing this, Xiao Cheng immediately upset. Mo Li, I see you poor. I did not expect you to be so unprofessional martial virtues. Getting close to Elder Su in public. I'm the one destined to be a companion of the sword. But the next moment, Xiao Cheng was beaten up by Mo Li and said he had a gift for me. After the last mishap, I told her she wouldn't have to pay for this gift. After all, it was short to take it. Xiao Ruoxiang, who was next to me, watched Mo Li and I browbeat each other and thought to herself that she must protect her sister. So we interrupted my conversation with Mo Li, who at that moment also noticed Xiao Ruoxi. At this moment, Xiao Ruoxi and Mo Li secretly vowed in their hearts to save both sides from the fire and send me back to the west at an early date. At this moment, a group of people next door caught the attention of Xiao Ruoxiang and me, only to hear the disciples of Wu Huaqiu bragging about the result of this recruitment. Xiao Ruoxiang had a black line on her face. That person actually said that Wu Huaqiu is not comparable to other clans, and that this year he would set a small goal of recruiting 10 million people. However, the crowd, when they saw the sword sect disciples, made a mockery of them. Aren't you guys busy burning your ancestors' graves? The sword sect disciples were also not willing to show their weakness, saying that they were a bunch of losers whose sword intentions couldn't even last for 3 breaths. The Wu Huaqiu disciples said, "Don't talk about those useless things. Every year you are not at the bottom of the recruitment star, and you can just have a good time here. It's impossible for my sword sect to be at the bottom of the list this year for recruiting stars this time around. And this year's overall leader is our sword sect's 5th elder." At this time, the elders of the Wuhua district said, "As far as I know, in the sword sect, Subei cultivation for 100 years is still the middle stage of the transformation of God. With this strength, I can slap you away. And your sword sect, you're a disgrace to this first-class sect of ours." The sword sect disciple who was rescued by me shouted at him, "A mere refined void dares to bark in front of our elder Su. Let me tell you, that scum you talk about can crush you losers with just one sword." In the face of Wu Huaqiu's elder's provocation, I still did my legs and didn't move at all. Even Wu Huaqiu's elder was shaken. At this time my heart is very bitter. It seems that I can't walk out of this door today without pulling out the Hato Peak experience card. At this time, Wu Huaqiu elder also pointed at me and said, "So elder, your sword clan disciple said that you can suppress the Womo. Now you can dare to fight. Elder Su, if you have any means, use them." But Don T say that Mr. Luo is bullying the small with the big. Is it not a bluff? The thing that gives me the biggest headache is that behind me my disciples are still shouting, "Come on, who's afraid of who?" It's really pissing me off. Just at this moment, a sword energy suddenly rushed towards the Wu Huaqiu elder, only to hear that person shouting, "Wu Huaqiu counts for nothing." The Wu Huaqiu elder was somewhat slightly stunned at this. "Cloud Sea Sword Immortal, you've actually broken through to the middle stage of void refining." The 2 breaths then collided, and the 2 fought fiercely against each other for a while. Suddenly a sword aura then came at me, almost injuring me by mistake. While I was baffled, it seemed like something had just passed by. The few people present were startled by this scene. Only Mo Li felt very sorry. It was so close to hitting the. Seeing me so calm, 9th senior sister secretly vowed in her heart that one day she would make me understand her feelings for me, only to hear a roar from the 9th senior sister. "I definitely won't tolerate onlookers slandering him. Subei's smile will be guarded by me." At this moment, the Wu Huaqiu elder panicked a lot. How was it possible that he could communicate with the aura of heaven and earth at the middle stage of refining emptiness? 9th senior sister didn't answer him, but only coldly questioned, "You still haven't answered me. What do you count as Wu Huaqiu?" And as the effects of the medicine from earlier are taking effect, it looks like I need to fully activate the selfless realm to suppress it in order to do so. The other clans that side next to me, they were also impressed by my temperament. While on the contrary, that elder of the Wu Huaqiu, his combination and pattern were a far cry from mine. At this time, the Wu Huaqiu elder pointed at me and said, "Elder Su, the sword sect disciple said that you can suppress Luo with one sword, but now they're hiding behind a woman and don't even dare to fart. Is the clan elder a shrinking violet?" Hearing the Wu Huaqiu elder's mockery of me, the 9th senior sister directly exploded, directly breaking through the hard demon tribulation. At this moment, the 9th senior sister was on fire and asked loudly, "I'll ask you one last time, what does Wu Huaqiu count as?" Wu Huaqiu? And nothing? But what are you? Sword sect, a rubbish sect at the bottom of the enrollment ladder. What qualifications do you have to ask me about Wu Huaqiu? I saw you as a woman and let you go, but since you don't know what's good for you, I'll hit you with the purple hammer. At this time, I suddenly called off the 9th senior sister. Then I arrogantly said, "You ask me what the Sword Clan is. I'll tell you, if Wuwakyu doesn't recruit, my sword sect will. And if Wuwakyu doesn't dare to do it, my sword sect will do it. What you dare not manage, I will manage. Those whom you can recruit, my sword sect will recruit. And those whom you cannot recruit, my sword sect will recruit. Why do I dare to do whatever I want? I'm sorry. This is the Qingping sword. A sword clan with the Qingping sword can do whatever it wants. This is the current sword sect. The sword sect's greatest treasure. The Qingping sword has returned, and the former sword sect has finally returned. When they saw me draw the Qingping sword, the female disciples and the 9th senior sisters all showed their adoring eyes, and the elders of Wuwakyu were scared to death by me on the spot. A bunch of spineless things. With this strength they still dare to pretend with me. Fortunately, only the people of Mo City know. Before the Eastgate recruitment news will not be able to spread for a while. Hurry up and roll back to Wuwakyu, or really have no face to see people. Mo Li, who was licking the dagger on the side, was called by Xiao Chong. "Sister, don't you have any feeling?" Then with a bad smile on his face, he said, "Sister, did you forget that the dagger was coated with medicine? Now what are you going to grab with me?" I only heard Xiao Chong hurriedly start complimenting me. "Elder Su, you are so handsome. Elder Su, I want to learn this. Please take me as your disciple." And I completely ignored Xiao Chong, turned around and walked towards the new son of Qi. "How about it? Do you want to worship me?" At this moment, I also felt that Mo Li seemed to be a bit off, as if he had been hit by the harmony scattering. Looking at Mo Li, I hurriedly shouted, "Mo Li, you calm down. After all, she doesn't have the same cultivation as me." Mo Li then collapsed on the ground. The medicine coated on the dagger was useful for the void refining stage, let alone her. At this moment, Mo Li's eyes were getting more and more confused, and his mouth was still very seductive, shouting, "It's so hot, Master." When Xiao Ruoshong saw this scene in front of her, she thought in her heart, "Never let Mo Li worship me, otherwise Mo Li will definitely be persecuted by me." I looked at Mo Li's appearance, is very puzzled. How could she be in the Harmony Sen? Turned his head and asked to Xiao Chong, "His sister, this is how the Kyun said she licked the dagger earlier for some reason. Maybe it was from the drugs. Maybe there's something else going on here." I picked up Mo Li and told Xiao Ruoshi that Master has to take a step ahead, to go to the Red Pavilion to deal with some things. And you and 9th senior sister will deal with the things behind you. Afterwards, I carried Mo Li to the Red Pavilion, not noticing Xiao Ruoshi's and 9th senior sister's expressions behind me. Xiao Ruoshong was thinking at this time, the drug Mo sister, the moralistic big devil, and the smoky Red Pavilion. Right at this moment, the 9th senior sister beside her suddenly said, "Could it be that senior brother wants to take advantage of the opportunity to do something untoward to Mo Li?" At this moment, I have brought Mo Li to the Red Pavilion. Where is your patriarch? Quickly take me to her. The people in the Red Pavilion also knew that I had an unusual relationship with Fish Red Sleeve, and without the slightest hesitation, they took me to Fish Red Sleeve. Fish Red Sleeve flirted, "So brother good, this Maltha just made such a big battle. So it is for this." I didn't have time to explain, so I first put Mo Li on the bed and asked Fish Red Sleeve if she had any antidote. The Fish Red Sleeve inspected. The younger brother is quite tolerant. This is the female doll of the Sword 3 body of Mo Chen. Right. Looking at the Fish Red Sleeve flirting with me, I am very helpless. Can only anxiously ask. In the end, there is no antidote. Fish Red Sleeve said at this time, "This is essentially just stimulate the nerves in the human body, so it is not considered a poison. And where is the antidote? Do I have to sacrifice my lust? I don't really want to do this, but saving lives is important." Fish Red Sleeve added, "In fact, apart from the most primitive method, it wasn't as if there were no other solutions." Then pulling out a bottle of more stimulating medicine. The effects of the medicine interacted with each other and would walk within the meridians. I looked at the medicine in Fish Red Sleeve's hand. "Sister, you're fighting poison with poison, aren't you? What if you mess up? I have already prepared a cold jade pool for you, so as long as you immerse yourself in it and keep flushing it with your spiritual energy, you will naturally be able to get out of your misery." I was very happy to hear that Fishon's Leave had a solution. Finally, I didn't have to hold back any longer, but there was also a little bit of disappointment. But right at this moment, Mo Li suddenly grabbed my face and kissed me before I could react. At this moment, I was simply embarrassed. I was forcibly kissed by my disciple, and it was my first kiss. I hurriedly pushed Mo Li away. Otherwise, I really couldn't help myself in a while, and I don't know what might happen. Standing on the side of the Fish Red Sleeve is still flirting. Sister really did not look at the wrong person. You are also hit by the harmony scattering, actually still able to keep the heart At this time, I have been suffocated full of red face. Fish Red Sleeve see this also did not tease me, turned around and then made me come to the cold jade pool. I then carried Mo Lee and Yu Han Sleeve to the cold jade pool, where everything Yu Han Sleeve had already prepared. Fish Red Sleeve and added some spices in it. This pool is it. Sister, I will not bother you to young people. However, before I open my mouth to say thank you, only to hear the Fish Red Sleeve said, gently toss, do not exhaust the body. Fish Red Sleeve then turned to leave. However, this woman's burst of laughter with a silver bell instantly stimulated the medicinal power of Mo Lee and I. At this time, Mo Lee did not know one has reached his hand to my bottom. What is this thing now, master? Before I could stop it, Murray had already clutched it and was shouting that it was Autobot. And at this point, I could barely hold it back. Looking at this scenario, no, can't wait any longer. I grabbed Mo Lee and threw her into the cold jade pool. Looking into the pool slowly subsided Mo Lee, and then I myself also jumped in, Mo Lee waiting for me to come as a teacher. At this moment, I was secretly grateful. Fortunately, my brother is the selfless realm of the great achievement. Otherwise, what man can hold it? When I think of my Roshan pupil, she deserves to be my baby. She's gifted, and she practices hard. So I'm kind of sowing beans to get melons. Mo Lee thought in his heart, could it be that this big devil didn't kill Xiao Ruoxi in his last life and only killed me? This pair of dogs and men. I will not let you go. Mo Lee put his hand on my body and secretly thought, all of them betrayed me. All of them like you. All of them go to hell. At this moment, the 9th senior sister brought Xiao Ruoxi to the red pavilion to look for me. Fish Red Sleeve said with a smile, you guess it yourself, ah. Elder Su seems to have been hit by the harmony scatter as well, and so is the woman he's holding in his arms. What do you think they're doing here in the red pavilion? Xiao Ruoxi hurriedly said, master is not that kind of person. Little sister, how can you be sure that your master is not that kind of person? No more jokes with you guys. Elder Su is indeed in the red pavilion, but I'm not sure if the woman in his arms is alright. 9th sister hurriedly got up. Quickly take me. Fish Red Sleeve scoffed you. This is to catch adultery. This will take you guys to. In the cold jade pool, I looked at Mo Lee's cold eyes and was puzzled. This elder has not done anything untoward. Why would she look at me like that? Just then, my good disciple Xiao Ruoxi suddenly appeared. Master, the teacher is naturally saving people before coming to the red pavilion is not explained to you. If you don't believe me, ask Mo Lee. Seeing this scene in front of her, the 9th senior sister turned away angrily, as if she had returned to her high-flying persona. Mo Lee said shyly, how much thanks to Elder Su for today? There is no harm. There are residues on the medicine, so you can soak for a while longer. I said to Xiao Ruoxi, I still have to go and talk to Patriarch Fish about something, so I'll leave Mo Lee to you to take care of him for a bit. Thanks to sister for helping me today. Otherwise my reputation would have been ruined. Sister, have we rolled out our microblogging channels yet? Now everything is ready. All we need is an Eastwind. This kind of spirit mirror is not a moral product, but the cost is not high, and it can still meet your requirements. Sister, good handwriting at first as long as to show everyone, and then buy the spiritual mirror equipped with microblogging. So who can still refuse the gossip of the 21st state? I'll leave it to my brother next. As a traveler, I'm good at this kind of gossip and fiction. Soon I edited a whole bunch of them, looking at the red sleeve of the fish with a look of incredulity. Just when I was editing being high, a voice suddenly came from outside, only to hear the man shouting, Sube, you son of a bitch. Get the hell out. Inside the Mo family, Mo or, the head of the Mo family, asks the butler if Xiao Chong and Lear are with Sube. The housekeeper said, young master and Miss dined with Elder Su. Then Elder Su drew his sword and then carried Miss away, but Lear was hurt by the sword energy. I don't think so, because Elder Su carried Miss into the red pavilion. Hearing the red pavilion, Mo's directly exploded. Sube, you little cutie, dare to get the old man's daughter inside the red pavilion. Come on, surround the red pavilion. His Excellency has been surrounded by the crowd. There are those who want me to accompany the loss of the tea house, and those who want me to hand over Mo Lee. Fish Red Sleeve flirting, brother's enemies, quite a lot of it. You see this below the sea of people are standing full of. I smiled slightly. They are all small characters. Don't worry about them. The main problem now is to think about how to clear the obstacle that the user doesn't know the words. Establishing a stronghold of cooperation between the Star and Moon sect and the Sword sect. Sending specialists to explain the hot content, which the illiterate will never miss. Brother, don't think about this first. I just took a look downstairs. Almost all of them are people from the Mo family. Such a big family actually openly called out with you. At this moment, the Star Moon sect disciples came rushing in. The patriarch of the Mo family, Mo-san, said that he wanted to see Elder Su. The disciples heard from below. The matriarch Mo threatened to purify Elder Su or he would never stop. This old man has a big mouth. He even wants me to be a eunuch. Let's see how I'll clean him up later. At this moment, Mozan has already stopped outside the door with a big sword in his hand, cursing and calling me a shrinking violet. And right at this moment, Xiao Chong slowly walked out from the red pavilion. It has been a few hours. I can't imagine that Elder Su's fighting strength is terrifying to such a degree when bumping into his old man before reacting. Xiao Chong, what about your sister? And why are you here? Looking at Mozan's expression, Xiao Chong whispered, Father's sister was hit by the harmony scatter. That is why she was brought here by Elder Su to cure the poison. Mozan directly slapped Xiao Chong out of the room. You as a younger brother, so you protect your sister. At this time, Fish Red Sleeve and I have already walked out. Fish Red Sleeve asked the Mo Patriarch, to my Star Moon sect, what is the purpose? Mozan was puzzled. Why did Patriarch Fish say this? Is he going to stand up for this lecherous demon Sube? And I didn't pay any attention to him, completely disregarding him. Outside, the eaters have begun to spit up, calling me a bully and a villain, saying that I'm not a thing for destroying people's industries. At this time, a sword sect disciple shouted at me, Elder Su, what's going on? Say something. Seeing the scene, I look indifferent. Things are now yes or no, to say or not to say. What is the point? I only saw Mozan raise the big knife in his hand and said, bring my daughter into the red pavilion in an unclear manner. You give me meaning. If you don't give me an explanation today, I definitely won't spare you. Tell me, what exactly did you do when you brought my daughter to the red pavilion? If Lear has a good or bad, Imoa will send you to the west. I go. The original lit knife can also be inherited. And just at this moment Mo Li suddenly appeared, only to see that she did not have time to wear her jacket, and hastily shouted, Father, I am here. Mo Li hurriedly apologized for what his father had done. Mo Li hereby thanked Elder Su for saving his life and Patriarch Fish for the cold jade spring. Mo Li hurriedly explained to his father that Elder Su had brought his child to the red pavilion for medical treatment immediately after he realized that his state was not right. When the people realized I was innocent, they even pointed the finger at Wu Huoqiu, saying that Wu Huoqiu is a bunch of hypocrites. Looking at Mo Li's thin clothes, Mozan hurriedly said, Lear, go back and put your clothes on first. Don't catch a cold. At that moment, Mo also slowly walked towards me, intending to apologize to me. I completely ignored him. I only saw me looking at the sky above me, then slowly said, 21 lands are out of bounds, and the calamity of the 10,000 tribes is like a tiger and a wolf. Later, the Sword Sect joined the war, and the Sword Sect was still called the World Sword Sect, and many experts sacrificed their bodies to the swords to repel the great wasteland cultivators. Later, the world lost the Sword Clan, and the Sword Clan lost the world. Su said, these are just to tell you that the people of the Sword Sect are not good at words or not willing to explain, but with a 3-foot blade in hand, one will never lose any of the world's great justice. This is the pride of a Sword Sect disciple. And what I didn't realize was that I had casually said to things that made my disciple understand that. Mozan tears at this time. Elder Su is a small man's heart to measure the gentleman's heart. Almost mistakenly hurt Elder Su. Patriarch Mo doesn't need to worry too much. The matter is all in the past. Mr. Su does have an ungrateful request. In the future, Mr. Su will host a grand Sword Sect enrollment speech at the Mo Mansion. As long as people come, they can receive 10 eggs. Is that okay with Patriarch Mo? I'll leave this little matter to Mo. How can 10 be enough? 20 would be worthy of Elder Su. Looking at Mozan's appearance, I hastily reminded Patriarch Mo, that egg is not a small amount. Think twice. On the other side, Mo Li was about to change his clothes when he suddenly realized that Xiao Ruosheng had actually come over behind him. Xiao Ruosheng asked with a gloomy face, Miss Mo picking out the red pavilion clothes. I don't know who she's going to dress up for. Naturally, it was for Master Zwen to see. Listening to Mo Li's answer, Xiao Ruosheng sheepishly asked, could it be that you and Master Zwen have already communicated deeply? If you hadn't come at the wrong time, it would really be hard to tell. I wonder why Fairy Xiao is so nervous. The two were also arguing with each other and quarreling, which made Mo Li even more suspicious that Xiao Ruoshi and I had an ulterior motive. Xiao Ruosheng looked at Mo Li also a little angry. It seems to be inevitable after all. This life she still chose the big devil. Seeing that he couldn't say anything about Mo Li, Xiao Ruoshi said, Master has left you with a small returning Dan to help you recover your vitality. Miss Mo will leave you here. Mo Li looked at Xiao Ruosheng thoughtfully. Senior sister, the last life I was simple-minded, but did not see the relationship between you and the teacher's father. At this time, Mo Li secretly thought in his heart, Wo Ruoshi Zijuin, Master, in this life, I will step on all of you under my feet. And after my passionate speech, the number of people signing up for the Sword Sect has already exceeded the record of previous years. I smiled blandly and calmly told them, this is just where it's at. My father's streak is still long. At this moment, I called Xiao Ruoxi. Disciple, come up to this place. Let me see how well you've been cultivating lately. However, no one paid any attention to me. What's wrong with this little girl again? Why does she smell so jealous? Looking at Xiao Ruoxiang's appearance, I was very puzzled. Emo, what's wrong with you? Why are you moping? Xiao Ruoxiang shyly asked. Master, will you accept Mo Li as your disciple? That tone was full of worry. Mo Li is extremely talented and has outstanding looks, while I am poorly qualified and have mediocre looks. I'm afraid the master will dislike emotion at that time. I grabbed Xiao Ruoxiang's hand. I said, why is your face so red? So it's because you're jealous. Amor, don't worry. Master won't dislike Amor. After taking in a new disciple, you will always be my precious disciple in Master's eyes. And you as a big sister, you should have the appearance of a big sister. To be stable and important heart like still water, plain and unperturbed. At night, in order to ease the mood of the love child, I am going to take her out shopping. After all, it's not easy to come to the city of ink. Love child, this place I am unfamiliar with. Quickly grab the master's hand, otherwise it should be lost. I will take you to buy sugar gourds to eat. How's Emo? How are the sugar gourds? Xiao Ruoxiang, who was eating the sugar gourd, thought in her heart, what is the bad idea of trying to buy me with the sugar gourd? Just at this moment, Xiao Ruoxiang saw that there is a fortune teller next to me, and hastened to call me. The master is not spiritual, do not want money. When I heard the 3 words of fortune-telling, I was inspired. I went to the stall of fortune-telling. How about the old gentleman giving us a face reading? The old man was confused after looking up and down. Both of you seem to have a destiny. It seems like you will die at his hands. Xiao Ruoxiang was stunned when she heard this. What kind of person was this old man? That he could tell past lives and present lives. And I didn't pay any attention to what the old man said. Mr. Old, please don't say it again. Let's talk about it. I took the old man to the alley and introduced him to a lucrative business, pulling in a cultivation seedling 10 spirit stones. And you can get your peers on board, develop them into downlines, and you'll be the middleman making the difference. Elder Su, don't worry, one counts as one. This matter is wrapped up in the old man. The old man is sure to get all of them to the sword sect for you. I then grabbed Xiao Ruoxiang's hand and quickly ran towards the shop selling clothes. Xiao Ruoxiang was still very confused at this moment. Elder Su is here. Is Elder Su buying clothes for this young lady? Our patriarch Fish ordered to come over. Yes, she is paying for the whole place. Fish is really a rich woman. This is my pupil. Give her a set of expensive choices from inside to outside. I was about to take my protege to another room to pick out some clothes. Yet the maid stopped me, saying that they were women's homely items. Originally still ready to personally pick a few belly buttons for her disciple, Xiao Ruoxi was instantly shy and ran in by herself. I didn't expect that the new clothes of the good disciple looks like a heavenly fairy, brightly blinded my eyes. It's really a special thing on earth. At this time Xiao Ruoxiang faced shy. Master, you say this is also too exaggerated, which is so good looking. Just at this moment, I unexpectedly ran into the 9th senior sister. I rushed to greet. Senior sister, good coincidence. You also come to buy clothes. I don't know what I did to piss off the 9th senior sister, but the 9th senior sister ignored me and left alone. After going back, Xiao Ruoxiang threw the clothes on the ground. This big devil, I me such clothes. It can't be that you want to let me wear it when you're in dual cultivation with me, but I've already bought such an expensive garment, so let's try it on. Just as Xiao Ruoxiang was changing her clothes. Master, you're so annoying. Hurry up and get out for others. Very embarrassed, I said hastily outside. That early to bed. Tomorrow still have to go to the Murray family speech. The next day, there was a long queue in front of the Mo mansion. All of them came to collect the eggs, but Mozan was heartbroken. Mozan was puzzled by the fact that 100,000 eggs were gone just like that. Master, you didn't say that only immoral cultivators could receive them. Covering his chest, Mozan said to me, Elder Su, is it okay? It is not too late. Let us start. I didn't expect so many people to come. I have to hold back a big move to calm down the scene, otherwise no one will hear it even if I die of exhaustion. I saw a sea of people down there, one after the other, squeezing towards the front, and there was even a stampede. Mozan stood above and shouted, next is the sword sect. The 5th Elder Su-Bei is going to preach the enrollment policy of the sword sect for everyone. We have Elder Su. One by one, the crowds below were confused. Who is Elder Su? Does he have anything to do with leading eggs? At this moment someone looked at my appearance and said, as if it was the one who took a sword and gave God a hole in his head. Just as I got on stage, I signaled to the people below. The 5th Elder has signaled. Release the cranes quickly. only a huge crane appeared in the sky, and the crowd was attracted to it. Who is known as the Face Ceiling in the immortal cultivation world, actually has a lesser-known title, which is the immortal world's great luminary, to be able to fool the poorest sword clan into the most luxurious clan for everyone. I believe that in the immortal cultivation world, only I, Zubei, can do it. At this point, my highlight moment finally began. I told the crowd on stage that cultivating immortality is harder than climbing up to the sky. The Oriental Sword Sect has an immortal way to cross the top 20 peaks. The Sword Sect is lofty and Kiwanese. Although the Sword Clan is cloud music, it is better to return home early. Cultivating immortality is difficult, harder than the blue sky, sideways and west looking at the long consulting contempt. And this heirloom poem of mine just now has caused the big brother of the Confucian sect to admire it so much that he cannot help but shed tears of excitement. Such a good thing. Have to immediately inform the lower part of the clan crowd discussing with each other. Worthy of the Confucian big brother? This can be heard. At this time, the crowd on the stage were talking. Worthy of being a Confucian big brother. Speak up. So learned. Simply do not understand. I'm embarrassed. What's the situation? Why don't you mention the Sword Sect and the Confucian sect? Zubei, wouldn't do it for others? It seems to be necessary to pull out some dry goods, I said in a domineering manner. Everyone has said that it's not easy to cultivate immortality. But why do you still want to cultivate immortality? At this time I put on an inscrutable look and said lightly that the so-called immortal cultivation, the first thing to look at is the temperament. I hold the Qingping sword in my hand. With a proud face, so-called how many round immortals you have cultivated, it determines how much temperament you have. Many disciples have betrayed our sword sect, but our sword sect still sent him down the mountain for 1,000,000. The crowd on stage gasped in surprise. At this time I hurriedly said while the heat was on, those who betray the sword sect have 1,000,000. So those who will be loyal to my sword sect in the future will have several 100,000,000. On the other side, inside the residence of the Southwind Master, the Southwind Master was leisurely reciting a poem, with a woman sitting next to him. Just then the subordinate suddenly reported to Sir, the eyes of the statue in the Temple of the Sage of Literature have lit up, and an heirloom poem has appeared. The Southwind Kingdom Master had a puzzled look on his face. The Eastwind Ancient Kingdom loved martial arts. It was unexpected that there was such a talent. Send someone to find out. At this time, look at the body to know is a beautiful girl suddenly stood up. The father let his daughter go. Just wanted to meet with a few acquaintances. And just as I walked out of Mo City, I saw a large number of people going to the sword sect. Not for any other reason, but for the hundreds of millions of dollars. I can't help but sigh. What lovely people. Folks so kind and simple. Can't be found with a lantern. Mo Li and Xiao Chong also came out to bid us farewell. But I don't know why I didn't see Mo Li's reluctance to let go of me. Mo Li also gave me a small gift to open after I returned to the sword sect. It looks quite mysterious. This can make the sight of Xiao Ruoshi angry enough. I rushed to take the disciples to run away. There is no way. Women are too terrible when they are jealous. Mo Li looked at my departing back, looking extraordinarily expectant. I wonder what bad ideas she had again. When coming to the crossroads, the disciples asked me which path to choose next, and I told them that you can't put your eggs in the same basket. The main road was peaceful and closer, and before I could finish, these foolish disciples chose the main road. Xiao Ruoxian thought in her heart, Master, it took me on the small path, where there is no one in the middle of nowhere. It can't be that he is trying to plot against me, right? Xiao Ruoxian then asked, Master, why do we have to take the treacherous and far roundabout path? That the protagonist must cultivate the gongfu. Doesn't it say that the protagonist jumping off the cliff will have a strange encounter? That's why I brought you here to jump off the cliff. Xiao Ruoxian at this time is simply speechless. Jumping off the cliff, there is no chance she does not know, because the bookend was torn by her. At this moment, the seriously injured ninth sister ran over and started shouting from a long distance, Run, 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 run. I looked at the seriously injured ninth senior sister and asked hurriedly, Senior sister, what exactly happened? How did you get so seriously injured? I only heard the ninth senior sister, who was lying in my arms, feebly say, Senior brother, quickly go. Someone is besieging our sword sect.